This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve with our beautiful lilac-breasted roller sitting right on top of the dry tree. It's actually warm out there. And welcome aboard to your very own safari through the African bush. Welcome back to Djuma Private Game Reserve, everyone, this afternoon, where we're looking at the very dry tree, but there is a bird sitting right on top, where it's a lilac-breasted roller. And, of course, with the background of a cloud, it's kind of like it's actually hot. Some cloud out there, kind of perched up, and some places where you can see bright blue sky as well. So this is where we're going to be standing on. My name is Andrew. On camera I have Simon again this afternoon. So we came to this position of the last, sighting of the dogs. This is where the dogs was this morning, but they seems to be gone, which is interesting. Now we're going to have to look for them. Not sure how far they will be gone then. The temperature of today is 32 degrees Celsius, 90 Fahrenheit. So it's there, really. You can feel it. And that's why all birds are quiet, probably. But they will be out about shortly when it's cooled off. Remember, we're coming to you live from this location and other few locations. So you can still talk to us on Twitter, #WildEarth. Also, our YouTube channels @FC. If you're under the age of 18, you can pop us an email on kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. Or otherwise, always simple to go register on Wild Earth website and head over to live Safari page, and then you can start submit your questions and comment there. We'll be answering for you live from these locations. So this is where we're going to be beginning searching for the dogs. They could be far gone because they've been spending here a lot of time since yesterday and this morning. Or they could be just chilling. I've been actually stopped here, but I haven't actually having a single contact for them, or they haven't made a noise there. So this is where I will be looking for them. If we don't get right, we'll check roads. And Lauren, will be doing some of the other search around there. If she would find a track, then she will also let us know. So while we're doing that, let me send you across to Lauren to say hello to everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to an extremely hot day here in Djuma Private Game Reserve. Do not know how to describe this heat other than it's extremely hot. But my name is Lauren, and I have Davy on camera with me. And luckily, we've got all our snacks lined up on the front here for this afternoon in case we get hungry mid-drive. Marulas are ripe, everyone. Can you believe it? They're yellow, juicy, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. When you don't see me live on air, I'm going to be eating. Now, we've just stopped at One-Eyed Pan in the west. Lots of things have been happening on Simbambili today. I believe we may get the chance to see Kara, who's on a rather unusual kill, and we may get the chance to see Nzutini. So that's why we've came west. There was a really, really large dragonfly that we wanted to point out for you, which is exactly why we stopped, but I can no longer see it, I'm afraid. Can you see it?
Just mind your head.
Mind my head. There was one. But this was an exceptionally large one. Sometimes it's good to just come sit by the pans and you see the birds come down to take a bath. You see all the insects fluttering around. But I don't see that dragonfly anymore. But I do have a little riddle that I'm going to give you now. And then once we have some time later on, I'm going to explain it to you. But I want to get you all thinking. Bear with me. Okay. I am fatherless, but I still have a grandfather. Who am I? And of course, it relates to the animal kingdom, everyone. But I'll let you all ponder that for a while. And then once we can escape the sun somehow and find some shade, I will reveal the answer. There's a little dragonfly there, Dovey. See that red one? There we go. Definitely not the super large one. Look at his body completely up in the air like that. Balancing on its own center of gravity on those 6 legs. I can't imagine us completely comfortable. But it must be, if you're a dragonfly. And completely diurnal. Once that sun starts to set, most of the fluttering insects that you see will disappear. They'll hide under the vegetation, in the trees, and there will be no fluttering excitement during the night. So I'm going to continue my search west, and we're going to send you guys down to Tswalu to say good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a beautiful afternoon here at Tswalu Kalahari. It's been quite some time since I've been on the show, so it's great to be back. Beautiful, beautiful green. We've got a roan antelope. He's relaxed now. By the way, guys, my name is Moritz. Behind the camera, we've got Craig. And yeah, just as I said, great to be back on camera and be out here and to be able to show you everything that we are seeing out here at Tswalu. We just had a roan antelope and he was staring quite a bit at the top of the dune. And so after a bit of having a look ourselves, we saw there was a jackal running just on the top of the dune. We're not seeing him anymore, and as you can see, the roan has also relaxed. But our plans for this afternoon is actually to go and see if we can't find the wild dogs. We've got a sort of a last known location on them, so we're going to go out and see if they don't want to show us a hunt. You know, being out here in the Kalahari, it's quite a little bit more open, so following the dogs while they hunt is, I wouldn't say easy, but a bit more manageable because you can see them from further away. So as they move, you can just constantly follow those white tips of the tail, and hopefully we'll be able to see them pull down maybe a warthog or doesn't really matter, but it's always awesome to see the dogs hunting. But just with the roan antelope, I love that mask, eh? With them and the oryx, they're just stunning with those masks on their faces. We just had a comment from Time Walker. Look at that mask. Absolutely. Like, as I mentioned just now, it is beautiful to see these antelope with these masks. The one with most likely the prominent mask, the oryx or the gemsbok, they just have to be my favorite antelope out here in the Kalahari. Stunning, stunning faces, beautiful body, and then you have that iconic spear-like horns. But I mean, with a roan, he's properly displaying his mask right now. We had some good rain this morning, so all of the masks, and you know, as you can imagine, the zebras are nice and clean. All of them had a shower now, so those colors are just popping beautifully, and especially against this green background. You know, guys, it's amazing to see how green the Kalahari is. I have to be honest, I haven't never ever thought that the Kalahari can be that green. But yeah, we're going to move on and see if we can find those dogs. For the meantime, we're going to send you off to Ngala.
Hello, and welcome to and Beyond Ngala, where we are currently looking at some zebras and a few wildebeest in the background there. I must say I'm quite jealous of those ripe marulas that Lauren found earlier. We haven't seen any of those around. If you do get the chance to taste those marulas, you really have to. They're delicious. These poor zebras just standing out in the sun. For once, the wildebeests are the smarter ones around there in the shade. My name is Marna, and with me behind the camera is BK. So quite a small little herd, or dazzle, as they call a group of zebras. I think it looks like 1, 2, 3 or 4 of them. Why is that impala alarm calling? Oh, they're just fighting. So 2 impala rams there as well. Oh, quite a bit happening here. But normally this time of day, the animals would be in the shade. Like I mentioned, with those wildebeest just relaxing in the shade of that shrub. But these zebras and the impalas just seem to be out grazing in the plains. They're all staring in different directions. It is very humid here this afternoon, and we are currently operating in the eastern parts of the reserve, so we've got lots of these big plains. So we generally see a lot of zebras, wildebeest, impalas around this area, sometimes giraffe further on as well. We're also going to try and visit some of the waterholes this afternoon, seeing as it's so hot. And then later on, we'll head back to that area where we found the Pride of Lions this morning. So Tiger Lover is asking how long zebras live. Tiger Lover, as far as I know, they in the wild, they live around or up to around 20 years, which is quite a long time. Trying to see if these are, it does actually look like there is mostly stallions actually, but the one, I think there is one female there. They are so beautiful and so photogenic as well. Oh, look at that. So that one on the right now, the one facing us, that looks like it's a female. And earlier she was, she turned towards us and she looked quite wide. So I think that she is actually pregnant. All right, I think we are going to continue and we'll see what else we can find. We're going to send you off to one of the other locations.
The new year has arrived, and with it comes all kinds of other new beginnings. From hyena cubs to meerkat pups, the bush is full of new life. If you want to find out more, then sign up to be an explorer and join our New Beginnings Fireside Chat. Tristan and Steve will be looking at what's new here in the wilderness as we enter 2021. Join them on the 17th of January, straight after the Sunset Safari. If you love to watch Wild Earth, then we are inviting you to join our Explorers program. For a monthly subscription, you will have the opportunity to win fantastic Wild Earth expeditions. Join our guides for a chat around the fire, receive weekly highlights from our shows, and much more. All the money will go to keeping these live safaris on air, which in turn allows us to escape into nature every single day. Our first Wild Earth Explorers competition has closed. And we have a winner. Congratulations to Chantal Sleep from Benoni in South Africa.
I felt totally overwhelmed for winning this prize. I will be taking my son with me, and I can't wait to share this experience with him.
Chantal and her son have won a behind-the-scenes Wild Earth experience at the magnificent and beyond Ngala Tented Safari Camp. The prize includes a 3-night stay and a chance to sleep out in the unique Ngala treehouse.
I would like to thank Wild Earth for making this dream come true, and I encourage everybody to subscribe, to become an explorer, and stand the chance to win these amazing prizes, and so much more.
For this month, we have a brand new prize. You could be jetting off to Tswalu in the Kalahari for a 3-night stay at the luxurious Motsi Lodge. Open to all Wild Earth explorers who have signed up before the end of January 2021. Terms and conditions apply.
We had the most gorgeous brown snake eagle staring at us from up above. He was looking down on us. I think he was eyeing up my marullas. But he moved off. We've managed to find him again. And I'm seeing him, which is incredibly incorrect because I have no idea if it's a male or female. But they're absolutely magnificent, these birds. You can see the glint of that sort of amber yellow eyes from very far away, and immediately you know what it is. Exposed, handling the harsh sort of light from the sun. Opens his mouth ever so often to gular flutter, but otherwise handling this intense heat remarkably well. You see that? He's got his beak open.
Yeah, I got these out again some places yesterday. And
sorry everyone, that's Andrew. We're just going to spend a little bit of time at Simbambili Dam before we head off looking for Cara. And I said she has an unusual kill. It is believed she has a side-striped jackal pup. Yeah, so it might be a slightly difficult one to watch. I don't know when she managed to hunt it and how much is left, but she's on Simbambili somewhere. And Zutini is also on Simbambili, her half-sister. And they're both very similar ages. Daddy Hukamuri was very busy at that time, and they're both not yet territorial. So I think we're going to try and aim to see both of them today on Simbambili. I think this guy is looking for something to eat. Even although the grass is long, the vegetation's so thick they can still spot snakes slithering through the grass. That's how sharp and accurate their eyesight is. Okay, so I'm going to head over to Simbambili Dam, but for now we're going to send you guys to Andrew.
Good luck, Lauren, with checking around Simbambili Dam. But yeah, so we now discover the whole PEX. It looks like for now the whole PEX is around here. So now they're all just moving around, the adults, and making these young one now feel like begging for meat from the adult. Because that's how they do. They have to make sure they feed them, but throw out the meat that they have eaten. Which to me doesn't actually look like they've been hunting during the whole course of the day since yesterday, I believe so. And it was last seen with the blood on their faces. This is yesterday morning. So if they don't move by this afternoon when it's cooled down, I agree, everyone. It's true that it's unbelievable. Let me just see if I can position here, because it's not easy, you know. I don't want to push to them too much. We don't want to disturb them there. They still have their own ground, and they trust so much that we're not actually going to harm them. So it is indeed unbelievable that we have dogs since yesterday morning, the afternoon, the morning today, and the afternoon today. So it's been really great though. Where sometimes it's kind of like unusual for me. I don't remember when last I've seen dogs for 2 days in the same place. Not that I can recall. Yes, so you're asking what are the main source of food. So most of the medium-sized antelopes, impalas, from the grey duiker, we got steenbok here, size of like dik, pretty much, but they, you know, it's slightly bigger compared to that dik. Scrub hares, they'll go after those, and they'll go for kudus, they'll go for waterbark, they'll go for a wildebeest in the packs. So if it's a pack of 18 to 20, of course, it's easier for them to bring a full-grown wildebeest. So that's actually medium source, but they will rely on impalas quite a lot. And the wildebeest, babies, baby zebras. Gugu, you're asking how dangerous the wild dog towards human. For sure, they're actually so cool animal. They're not actually mainly attack human, unless if they're cornered. Or if it happens, then of course they're a wild animal. If you ever get surprised by them running over you, you know, in the packs, it means maybe you single out there where they very much so much worry about their babies and puppies and things like that. So for their own protection, they will probably warn you, or if you corner them, they will definitely going to do damage to you by biting you off. But it's not actually quite often that they go for human. We're out here a lot of time, we track them, find them on foot, they run away. Alright, so you're asking how often do their dogs make kill? They have to kill regularly, the wild dogs, in the packs. And where sometimes a few kills a day, or twice a day at least, that they have meal to feed on. And they're actually a very successful animal. They hunt very well. But since we've seen them here since yesterday and today, it means that maybe whether they went hunt, come back for these puppies, I can actually just think of that, but I'm not 100% sure. Because they do leave the puppies, but they're actually not that young to be left behind. So we don't know what they have been down during the day since yesterday. But they do get hungry quite often though, and need to hunt very well. So you're asking if there is any reason or where they are successful hunter or they become successful hunter. They small animals for things like that. I think first thing is they are relying on the meat quite a lot, or they don't actually relying on stealing from the other animal. And that's why they actually quite success. Also, they don't give up once they chase animal. They got to take it down. Doesn't matter how long they take. I'm going to shift a little bit forward again. Just going to see if we can try and maneuver around. So, and also they cooperator hunters. That's what makes them success. And they share whatever they kill. So it's quite cool then. A bit of them were yesterday, they were hardly see even their ears. And the wild dogs always sustain in a number in the pegs. As long as there's a food source around them, balas, those type of antelope they can hunt. And then if there's none, they won't like sticking around in an area where they can't get enough food. So they're in this wood where you see grasses all shaking through there. And there's quite a few of them there. We're just gonna wait here a little bit, stay put. If they will ever playful come out for us. In the meantime, I'll be sending you across to Lauren. Oh, so sorry about that, Lauren. Yeah, we're still here, sitting right here with this dog. Well, I understand that when they don't come out to the open, it's because there it's a lot cooler, grass is coverage. And they be around a shadow. And they've been here probably the whole day. It was actually very hot the whole day today. So I'm going to stay put, sending you across to Lauren again.
So we're just driving through Makulu Open on Simbambili. Makulu means big in Shangaan, and it really is the big open. It's actually a very beautiful area. Lots of sort of fallen over marulas, long grass, large herds. It's a very common place to see zebra, kudu, of course, impala, wildebeest, all sorts of antelope. And this is the main area on Simbambili that you tend to find Kara. It's not her territory. She's not territorial yet, but it's almost like her little home range that she's using on a daily basis. It could be the section that Shadulu's given to her, as that's exactly what female leopardesses do, but she's not yet territorial. Whether she'll expand east into Djuma, she can't expand further north, I'm afraid. There's a fence line, or whether she pushes. My goodness, I cannot speak today. Pushes south, we do not know. But for now, she's very much using this open area, Makulu Open. It's a perfect place, just like Quarantine. It's way bigger than Quarantine that we have on Djuma. But it's a very sort of similar area. Long grass, lots of vegetation, and very, very open. So it's perfect for all the antelope to gather in herds or mixed herds. And more eyes, more ears, more nostrils to evade the predators. When the grass is long, it's also perfect for the predators, because they can stalk through the long grass without ever being seen. It's harder for them in winter. They are spotted in winter. But I think both Javi and I need to seek some shade. What do you think?
Let's go.
Yes, let's go. I imagine in about an hour, we'll feel relief in the air, but for now, I think we need to go and seek some shade at the dam. And you see the impala doing that as well. They'll stand in the shade for a little while. Oh, people have given answers to the riddle already. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, let's hear them. Wow, I'm very impressed. Okay, Kirmoth? Tirmot. I hope I got it right there. Third time lucky. Tirmot, you're saying a bee drone? Okay. I hope no one used Google. Okay, right. Next one. Sandrine, you're saying a male honeybee, okay. Alrighty, some good ones so far. You're disqualified if you used Google though. Okay, that is all so far. So what I'm going to do is, oh, hello. Hyena. I wonder if this hyena is going to lead us to one of the leopards that we're looking for. Once I do park off at the dam and we've got some beautiful views and some shade, I'm going to go into great depth about that riddle. But both of you got it right. Tirmot, you were slightly more accurate in calling them a drone, but yes, both of you got that correct. Well done. If I could, I would give you a marula fruit, but sadly I can't. But I will eat it on both of your behalves. I don't think that's a Djuma clan member, but it could be, you know. Impossible for me to tell from here. Perfect ears, I think. Probably going to sniff out the leopards that we are looking for. Okay, my riddle has been solved, but I will explain. I'm going to go into great depth. It's a fascinating topic. I just want to seek some shade first, that's all. Gary, that's a tricky question because essentially they are enemies, if you like. But they're so familiar with one another. Wild dogs are used to hyenas following their every move. They'll sort of chase them. The whole pack will gang up on the hyenas, but really, they absolutely could kill a hyena. But it's very, very rare for them to do that. Really rare. It's not worth their time. It's a bit of a numbers game as well, as with all the predators. The more hyenas there are and less dogs, then of course hyenas would win. They would have the upper hand and vice versa. But there's so many videos on YouTube of hyenas and wild dogs having sort of standoffs and battles. They're very familiar with one another, just as leopards and hyenas are. Lions and hyenas are. Now this is the little Egyptian goose family that we followed for a while. The goslings have got so big. Wow, they don't even look like goslings anymore. And sadly, there's not as many as there used to be. But that's still a good number. You can see they've not quite got their facial markings yet. They've not got that sort of elaborate Egyptian markings that the adults have. I can only see 4 youngsters, which means they lost more than 50%. Oh no way, I spoke too soon. There's more ducks over at this side, Davy, at about... I'm not sure I'm able to... Oh, there you go. That was probably what I was looking at. I think that was a white face. That's over a 50% loss. So this is Simbambili Dam, everyone, just in case you were wondering what dam we're at. It's a very beautiful dam. Normally there's a hippo, but I'll tell you one thing there is not, and that is shade. Yes, no shade. We must seek some shade for now. And then we can go through my wonderful riddle. Is the Egyptian goose chasing off the white-faced ducks? Wow. They were not happy to see one another. Okay, everyone, I really am going to seek some shade, and I'm very much looking forward to discussing my riddle with you all.
So we are still in the eastern part of the Reserve. We have gone back towards the riverbed, and we're now driving on a road that runs parallel to the river. As you can see, it's quite thick around us. And yes, some shade would be nice. Flies around at the moment as well. We've actually just made some fly swats. An African weeping wattle makes quite a nice fly swat. This is a very good place to look for leopard, which we haven't seen in quite some time. I think most of the other vehicles on the reserve, they're all also looking for leopard this afternoon. Haven't seen any fresh signs or tracks of them. We've seen a lot of hyena tracks so far. And a lot more impala, as well as wildebeest and zebras. But at this stage, most of the cats will be in the shade, so they'll be laying under these shrubs or under the trees, just taking cover until it cools down a little bit later, and then they will emerge. As for us, I think we should head towards the waterhole just to see if anything goes down for a drink there. I'm actually hoping that some of the elephants would like to So fingers crossed. Let's go see what's happening there.
So we still in this position with the dogs. Just gonna take a moment of silence over here and listen to them a bit. Mrs. Paul Klaus asking what animals hunt wild dogs. They're actually danger to many other, or lions mainly. So these python, big snake, they have to make sure they don't go near those. Yeah, but mainly lions would actually be a main threat in the packs. Where there's a leopard, sometimes they can stand a chance, chase leopard away or surround with single hyena sometimes, unless if it's solitary or it's isolated from the packs, then of course can be danger to a single leopard or that way. And mainly disease, that's the threat for them. And it just move further into the river there. You still see a little bit of the movement. It's a water down there, that's why they spend a lot of time in this area. So we're gonna stay here, see if we can get another look at these dogs. I'm gonna be sending you across to Lauren.
We've just come across an elephant bull and some shade. Can you believe it? He's just making his way across. Mukulu Open's also a great place for elephants, especially bulls. I've never actually come across a herd here, but the lone bulls love to just roam this land. And of course the vegetation is so lush and there's water. Can you hear them? I think there must be a little pan there. See how he's just dramatically cooled his body temperature down, just like that, from a few splashes. I didn't even know there was water there. And off he goes. Now, Pommy's pan is a lovely little pan that we discovered the other day with Inzutini herself. So I'm just going to give you a look at it. It's really lovely. She had her kills stashed in this piece of vegetation right here. I can hear weavers. Okay, Davy will work his magic here. Okay, so going back to the riddle, we may as well do it now. Well done, the two of you that got it right. It was, in fact, bee drones, bee male drones. So within social insects, you have honeybees, ants, different wasp species. They form societies that are obviously social, but they have such skewed sex distributions. And let's just go to the honeybee, because that's the one that we're actually talking about here. Sex is determined not by a chromosome like you or I. It's determined by whether the egg itself is fertilized. So the queen, she decides. She'll lay her eggs, and if she decides to fertilize the eggs with sperm that she's collected, we'll also come to that very interesting point, that will be female. If she decides to not fertilize the egg and allow it to remain unfertilized, those eggs will hatch into males. So it all depends on the nourishment that the queen gives it, what the queen gives it during the developmental phase, to whether you're going to be female and whether you're going to be male. And of course, that's going to lead to lots of, unique sex distributions, shall we say. So the queen will have daughters, and these are the fertilized eggs. And if you think about it, all the daughters that the queen will have will be more closely related to her. Oh, Davy's telling me I'm moving so much. I'm sorry. I'll try and keep still in my seat. Apologies. All the daughters will actually be more related to the queen herself and the sisters than any potential offspring that they might have. So not all of her daughters will go on to become queens. So the sperm that's used will be from one single male. One male bee, the female, the queen, will collect all of that and use it to fertilize every single one of her eggs. And therefore, they will all be almost genetically identical. But the males, they won't have any input from a father, and that's where the fatherless comes in. But they will have input from the grandfather. I hope you're all following this. So because it's not fertilized, there's no input from the sperm, and therefore they're fatherless, but they will grow up to be males, but they've came from a mother who's the queen, who is fertilized, and therefore it came from sperm, and there's a grandfather. I hope you're all following. It took me a little while to get my head around all of this today. I was reading up on it, and it's absolutely fascinating when you think of it. So it is the bee drones. They don't live for very long. So when you see ants or honeybees, believe it or not, you're most likely looking at the females. Remember that bee movie? The movie that was about a bee called Barry, I think? Barry the bee? Completely biologically wrong, just like Finding Nemo and all the other movies out there. There will be no sort of king bee called, a worker bee, sorry, he wasn't king, he was a worker bee, called Barry. All the workers are females. So Barry should have been given a female name. And even Shakespeare's Henry V, also completely wrong. He described how all the sort of inhabitants of the beehive are male and they're ruled under a king. All the inhabitants will be females and they will be ruled under a queen. So there's a little bit of insect knowledge for you all. And we really are going to start our search for Cara now. And while we do that, we're going to send you across to Pridelands to say good afternoon.
Watching these two young elephant bulls who are having a bit of a tussle. One seems to be sauntering off after a bit of a drink. I think the other elephant bull hasn't yet been to the water at Ndlovu Dam. Probably will come down and drink maybe in a little while. It is an extremely hot afternoon. Very calm. Oh, no, decides he wants to go and chase his friend. That's also okay. Plenty of time for a drink a little bit later. Hopefully more animals will come down to the water. I suspect there's an elephant herd that's also on its way. Hi everyone, my name's Mike Anderson. I'm the camera is Gert, and you're joining us at Eco Training's Pridelands Conservancy. We're here at Indlovu Dam on this lovely summer's afternoon, hoping that something is going to come down to the water. One of the other guides did say that there was an elephant herd in the area making their way down here. But for the moment we've just got these two bulls slowly mobile back towards the drainage line in the direction where the elephant herd was. I wonder if that elephant herd is Susan's herd, who's been hanging around. And hanging around with Susan's herd is another large elephant bull who, those of you who were watching the other day, had a bit of an injury to his penile sheath. Managed to get the researchers to have a look at him. It seems like they might have seen such an injury before. Seems like it was caused by fighting. So the elephant recovered just fine. So hopefully all will be well. There they go, disappearing off. Now we wait and see what else might arrive. At the moment, all that's at the dam is a couple of Egyptian geese. We're far on the left-hand side, close to where the elephants often dust bathe. I'm hoping that they do something again that they did a little bit earlier. Just in the middle of the left-hand side of the screen there, right on the edge of the water, is the Egyptian geese. And a moment ago we watched them do something I've never seen before, and I've always wondered about it. Now, they actually, one of these geese, there's two of them, one of them started eating and breaking apart a foam nest frog nest, and then delving into the water, probably after eggs or tadpoles that were maybe still developing. I'm not sure what was happening, but it's never been seen before by me, and I've certainly never seen, or none of the instructors I've talked to have seen it before. So it's very interesting. Maybe the tadpoles from the foam nest frog were hatching at that moment, and that caught the goose's attention. But whatever it was very interesting to watch. Breaking that foam nest apart and throwing it into the water and then eating the little bits that were floating amongst it. The nest itself acted just like candy floss and just dissolved in the water and disappeared. So it was really, really interesting. In fact, it was on that dead tree that's just fallen at the water's edge there. Just see in the distance behind that leadwood, that is exactly the tree which had the foam nest. In fact, you can see the foam nest frog nest from here, the one that the goose ate. It's just over there. It's now looking very sad. Just there on that fallen tree. Nothing but remains. You can see a bit of it in the water and a bit of it on the bank there. It was ripped apart completely. Didn't spend a lot of time with it though. Whatever it was there, I don't think it found it very appetizing. The tree broke it apart, dabbled its beak, and then headed off to the other side of the water. Not a major problem, because there would have been hundreds, if not thousands, of tadpoles laid, not in that one nest, but in all the nests around. That is very interesting. Actually, I don't know if it's crunchy. It feels a lot like polystyrene, the nests, for those of you who are wondering. The nests feel like polystyrene, very, very hard on the outside. But, you know, when you add water to it, it sort of dissolves. You'll see after rain, all these frog nests tend to dissolve and start sagging and dripping into the water. But I have no idea what it tastes like. I've never tasted it. It's basically a mixture of proteinous, gelatinous material and then the sperm and eggs of the foam nest frog. So, I mean, I don't know if it would be particularly tasty for us, to be honest, but nothing else seems to eat it. So maybe in that gelatinous substance that creates the foam, maybe there's something in that which is maybe bitter, or I wouldn't say toxic, but bitter. Perhaps that keeps them away. I know there are certain species of flies that lay their eggs on the foam nests. I've read a paper about it recently where they said that if you break them open, sometimes you'll find lots of fly larvae moving about, maggots, that are feeding on the tadpoles and eggs themselves. But apart from that, I've never seen a mammal or a reptile or a bird ever eating it, apart from today with that Egyptian goose. So it's actually super, super excited to see it. Especially since these geese here made a mockery of me not long ago when I said they really mostly eat vegetation, and then the goose decided to eat a frog right there in front of me. It was very embarrassing, but that's what animals tend to do. They don't read books, you see. They eat pretty much anything that they can get their mouths onto. But in the meantime, let's send you off to one of the other live locations to see what they're up to on their safari.
That is pretty incredible. I've actually also never seen anything eating a foam nest frog's nest, although I have read about certain things that eat their nest or eat the little eggs. We are almost at the dam, or almost at the waterhole, and we have been dreaming about all the things that we want to see at the waterhole. All the elephants and buffaloes and waterbuck and all kinds of things. Happy hippos. I think one thing is almost certain is that we will see hippos there. Even though, I mean, you can't make any promises out here. But that is the one thing that we normally find around the waterhole. So we will see, fingers crossed. I'm really hoping for some elephants. They are such beautiful creatures. Now this morning, if you were watching the show this morning, you'd know we had an elephant bull, and then later we had some elephants while we found those lions, and that wasn't too far from here. So they do frequent this area. But as mentioned this morning as well, because of the time of year, it's the rainy season, so there's a lot of water around. The elephants don't necessarily have to visit these larger waterholes. But if they want to come for a swim, you know, this is the place to be. And the hippos don't really mind the elephants around. They'll just move to the other side of the water. Oh, okay. I can see the water. All right, we're going to investigate and see what's happening around the waterhole. We're going to send you back to Andrew with his wild dogs.
Thanks so much, Maura. And then now, finally, our wild dogs have come out of that wood. It's a good thing now because they're moving into slightly an open area where we can see them all. So maybe this is all the beginning of a hunt for this afternoon. Move slightly forward, then we can avoid that dry wood. Usually on quarantine here, where we're going into now, which is the western side of Djuma camp itself, there's a lot of antelope impala species sometimes. But we're going to see what is there right now. I didn't check this afternoon. Amazing animals, and they're well camouflaged to grasses with a little bit of brownish spot they got, and black tip end of their ears as well. So if there isn't a chase is going to happen, you would see how it's quicker going to take. Sometimes they're going to just vanish away from us. Let's keep up with them. And they're so fast when they do that. And they just run into thicket and all disappeared immediately. So I'm going to try stick with these dogs.
Welcome to my car. This is Wendy, and she's my favorite. She would love to have your name engraved on her so you can be with her every single time she goes on a safari here in Djuma. If you become a Wild Earth Explorer, you will have the opportunity to buy an engraved tag which we will attach to her. We will make sure to send you a digital picture to show you exactly where you are sitting on her. You will have front row seat in every single sighting.
The new year has arrived, and with it comes all kinds of other new beginnings. From hyena cubs to meerkat pups, the bush is full of new life. If you want to find out more, then sign up to be an explorer and join our New Beginnings Fireside Chat. Tristan and Steve will be looking at what's new here in the wilderness as we enter 2021. Join them on the 17th of January, straight after the Sunset Safari. Have you been watching Wild Earth and dreamt of being right there on safari with one of the guides? Well, now you can. Wild Earth is offering you a chance to buy a ticket to dream. You or a friend can hop on board a live Wild Earth show and join our guide on safari. The ticket is redeemable at any of our locations, anytime in the future. Only a limited number of tickets are available, so don't wait. Get your ticket now and start dreaming. Terms and conditions apply.
My name is Ross, and I'm a field guide at and beyond Pinder Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on Wild Earth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on Wild Earth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
So we've reached the waterhole and we found this little blacksmith lapwing with something quite peculiar in his bill. Had a closer look and he was carrying around a frog, a platana. Now, as far as I know, and from what I've seen, these lapwings mostly feed on insects, sometimes little worms and mollusks. But he was carrying around a platana, which is a kind of frog. And he was, it looked like he was slapping it around and dipping it in the water. Now, these platanas, they secrete a substance that is, it's like slimy, and it's also poisonous. So a lot of the times when you see herons and things catch these platanas, you will see them doing that, kind of rinsing them before they guzzle them down. But I've never seen a lapwing do that. Just as you came to us, I don't know if he just decided to get rid of it. I don't think he actually finished it. But it seems like he's done with the with the frog. That was quite interesting. Oh, no. Come on, where is it? Pick it up. No. Well, no elephants like we hoped, but the hippos are here. And other than that, there isn't too much activity. There you go. And he's got his eyes closed as well. Very peaceful. Oh, some more nostrils behind him. A few other small water birds around the waterhole. We've seen some three-banded plovers. And we've seen some water thickney. But that's about it. I love those little round ears. They look so peaceful for an animal that can be potentially quite dangerous. Right, we're going to stay here for a little while, see if that plover picks up that frog again, and we're going to send you back to Andrew.
Thanks, Martin. It's always so cool in spotted things when you sit around the watering hole. We all get to see many things coming down to drink. And now wild dogs are all just busy watching around here. Now we're on the west of quarantine, but looks like they're going to move north. And they have checked quarantine from here. There's nothing. They were busy checking there from way distance, and I think it's nothing. That's why they're going to move north. So anything they're going to flush or find in front of them, probably going to take it or hunt it. We're so privileged having them since yesterday, today, and now I'm not sure where they're going to end up to. I hope they stick around again. They're going to start to move now. So we're going to just follow them behind as they move. And they're moving into one of the access road, the Uyatala driveway. And hope they don't cross north into a very wet area on the northern side of that. It's too wet, but we're going to stick with them. So I'm going to stay put, follow the dogs. I'm going to be sending you across to Lauren with her interesting kill up in the tree.
Now, we don't have a leopard, everyone, but what you are about to see, I just want to give you a warning. It's probably not going to be easy for some of you. It's
As you can see, those elephants that we talked about, sorry about the technical difficulties with Lauren there. As you can see, those elephants that we talked about have arrived, and in force. There are a lot of elephants, as you can see. There are one family which has just left right now, and at least two other families or elephant herds that are currently drinking and playing in the mud at the dam. So it's a spectacular amount of elephants. I'm really, really impressed all the time by just how many elephants can come to the waterhole at any one point. As you can see, we're having a slightly different point of view here than we normally do. Standing a bit further away because, man, today is it hot. And that's almost exactly why these elephants are at the dam. As you can see, all the young bulls playing in the water very aggressively, all the families with the youngsters there in the shallows using the mud to cool themselves down, of course, not wanting to get too much tangled up and involved with these big elephant bulls doing this kind of stuff, mounting each other and playing and dunking. It's just a little bit dangerous for those youngsters. And yet more elephants are arriving. There's another herd, or at least another group, coming over the dam wall there at the dusty, dry area. It looks like a bull. Looks like a fairly big bull. Oh, is that Limpy? It's Limpy! Yes, he's back. I haven't seen him for so long. This is the best day ever. I haven't seen this elephant in months. We've been wondering where he's been. Oh, he's looking very healthy. He's looking well fed. Oh, I'm so glad to see Limpy back. I wonder if then Kumo must be with him as well. There's a big elephant bull coming over the wall. Maybe that's Kumo. Oh, guys, this is the best day. We got to see Lagatha the lion this morning, potentially, hopefully Lagatha, and now Limpy the elephant who we haven't seen for a while, plus probably, somewhere amongst this lot, Kumo. Who of course was a regular around the waterhole until the rains fell, and then he seemed to have gone on a bit of a walkabout, and he took his askari or group of males with him. This is amazing. I'm so glad. So elephant bulls tend to associate together, generally over long periods. They can disperse, from time to time, but generally once they start getting together in a group, they'll stick around with each other for a long, long time. So I'm so glad to see that he's back, and hopefully this means that he'll be sticking around the area for a while. You can see the group starting to disperse. One elephant herd moving off to the left, the bulls still frolicking raucously in the middle. And old Limpy at the back there, probably just refamiliarizing himself with his old stomping ground. So we're not really sure how old this elephant is. He comes across as a lot smaller than a lot of the others, so he could be quite young. Although, saying that, speaking to the researchers a few days ago, yesterday in fact, I realized, or I found out, that a lot of the elephants that we estimate are a lot younger than we think. Oh, look at that elephant picking up a stick over there. A couple of elephants have picked up that exact stick over the last couple of days. I wonder what's got them so interested in it. That's interesting. Look at that. He's really holding it under his trunk and over his tusk. I wonder if it's gotten stuck. He doesn't look too stressed out about it. But anyway, so we were asking the researchers how old Tswalu is. That massive elephant bull with the huge... All right, gentlemen, could you just keep it down slightly? We're trying to do a wildlife show here. There's a couple of Aramark babblers that have just arrived in the tree just off to the right of us. And they are making all sorts of noise. It sounds like there's a second group somewhere nearby, and these Aramark babblers have taken offense to the fact that they've moved in too close to their territory. So let's see if they do it again. Oh no, there they go, off to do battle. That's so interesting. So these Aramark babblers are going to ferociously defend their territory from any potential, incursions from other members of the group, or of another group. But elephants are not territorial, so they'll all be pretty friendly with each other. Still hear the Aramark babblers in the background. So I don't know if you saw there was quite a big elephant standing on the back of a smaller one, and that's probably wasn't so comfortable for it. It happens a lot when they're mating. Ahmed, that's a good question, and to be honest, we're not exactly sure what happened to that limping elephant. It seems like maybe its leg got dislocated when it was very young, and then it managed to sort of relocate it maybe, or maybe it was broken in some way, and then it healed itself. I don't know. I mean, it's very odd, and it looks very uncomfortable, but the elephant seems to do just fine. It seems to, limp along and keep up with the rest of their askari, if at a bit of a distance. But he seems to not let it stop him from feeding. He's still in great condition. But anyway, I'm getting so distracted. There's so much stuff happening here. What we're saying is that Tswalu, that massive elephant bull that just has huge tusks. I mean, I will always just sort of estimate and say that elephant is probably in its 50s, coming towards the top end of its age, nearing its oldest. And the researchers told me he hasn't even reached 40 yet by their estimations. And they've been following these elephants for a long time. So Kumo, for example, again, another big elephant that we sort of follow around this area. Massive elephant, not even 30 years old. Can you believe it? And they say that's pretty accurate, their estimations, following them over years with the collars, comparing them with other aged elephant bulls. So next time I'm on a safari and I see an elephant that's 50 years old, I need to check really carefully, because it's really interesting to hear all from the researchers who spend basically all day, every day watching and spending time with elephants and watching them and taking data from the collars. So interesting. And this is what I really like, just watching them behave, watching how they interact with each other, how they interact and how they play with each other. They each have very individual and distinct personalities. But in the meantime, let's send you back over to Lauren with that very interesting carcass in the tree.
Now, we don't have the leopard, everyone, but this is just a sort of disclaimer before we show you what is up the marula tree here. For some reason, it's not easy. It's a little bit difficult, so if any of you are sensitive, maybe look away, but this is Kara's kill. It's up the marula tree here, and it is, in fact, a side-striped jackal pup. And I've never seen anything like this. I've actually never seen a side-striped jackal pup. Never mind one that's been hoisted into the tree. So the reason we're choosing to show you it is because nature's nature. We look at impala lambs up there, we look at all sorts. And it's sad. I don't quite know where Kara found this pup, but she did. And there's no sign of her, but I really believe she'll come back. So we are going to scratch around a little bit to see if we can find her. And hopefully she'll come back to the kill. But I've really never seen anything like it. I saw it on Facebook. I think it happened last night. And it's just unbelievable how small this little pup is. Now, we commonly see the black-backed jackals here. They're the most common. But you do get the side stripe. We do see them here. But definitely not as often as we see the black-backed jackals. Part of the Canidae family, the same as Andrew's wild dogs, the Ethiopian wolf. And you've got one of the apex felids on top. And I thought that's going to be a really unique sighting when Kara comes back. But it's sad. It's not so easy to watch seeing this little pup. So we won't stay here too long. We did just want to show it to you all. And I don't think Kara will be far away. Okay, it's not Kara, but it's another spotty predator. Did I give you a fright there, Davy? Sorry. I wonder why the hyena's here. I love watching hyenas walk through the grass. And I'm guessing that this could be an Elephant Plains member. And although, yes, they scavenge, they also hunt. I can assure you they do. It just fascinates me how incredible their sense of smell is. Look at this individual. It doesn't know there's a jackal pup in this tree. It has no knowledge. But it can smell something. And it's almost came directly to the marula tree. That's how accurate their sense of smell is, and that just blows my mind. I can't smell this jackal pup. Hello? You look like a youngster. Possibly a male. Very unique spot pattern. Do you see that smiley face on the right shoulder blade? You see it? Looks like a pumpkin. I'm going to call you Pumpkin. We don't know the Elephant Plains clan too well. This came right to the correct tree, and that's what blows my mind. That's how remarkable hyenas really are. This hyena does not know there's a pup up there, does not probably know that there was a leopard up there, but it came to the exact tree. From most likely very far away, drawn by the sense of smell. Remarkable olfactory capabilities. They can smell for miles. Wow. Leon, who knows? I also don't know the answer to that question. It's very common for leopards to leave because it's hoisted. I mean, this hyena cannot get to the kill. The only thing that really could get to the kill would be another leopard. But she's got it hoisted. She'll know exactly where she left it. So it's very common for leopards to leave, just like Tingana did. He kept coming down from that Tamboiti tree, resting, and then going back up again. So I'm going to guess that Kara will come back. But I really don't know. I just think... I think it would be a very unique sighting. I really do. But she may not come back. For whatever reason, she could be a bit like Kalamba, in that she just enjoys killing. Hyena, you have done remarkably well. Very impressed. It just knows, just like that, knows there's a kill. And I'm more than sure that this hyena, little pumpkin here, can also smell a leopard. And I believe they know which leopard they're following. I really do. There's not that many leopards here. Definitely not enough leopards for them to survive solely by scavenging. No way. Hyenas hunt far more than we realise. It just might not always be big prey species. It might be smaller things, but that's still hunting. And I'm convinced that hyenas know, okay, we're on the scent of Tingana, Tlalamba, Tandy, Kara, and of course they're not going to use their names, but they will oh, we're just going to chill. But they will understand the sort of chemical code, that unique barcode that every organism has. The hyena will understand who they're following. Is it male? Is it female? And understanding another organism's scent other than your own species is something really incredible. I think this is a young male, just judging by his body shape, but I could be wrong. I'm not familiar with the Elephant Plains clan, I'm afraid. And the game of patience begins. He's put his patience pants on, as we have, and this hyena already has the knowledge that most likely the leopard will come back, begin feeding, and of course, the food may drop. Gravity may magically take hold and the food may land in the hyena's jaws. Or one hopes. That's what one is hoping for here. I just love the way that they can hunt. They can also follow their nose. They can scavenge. I personally don't think scavenging is negative at all. And I think we really have to change our perception on that. It's a crucial ecosystem service for organisms like vultures and hyenas and even jackals, actually, to clean up those carcasses. Imagine if no one did. Imagine if there was just carcasses left over by lions and leopards, hoisted in trees, all over the ground, dead buffalo. Not only would the entire environment smell, disease would build up, bacteria, pathogens, could harbour all sorts of nasty things that could eventually pass on to humans. And that's the ecosystem role of hyenas and vultures and anything that scavenges. It's essential. An ecosystem can't survive without it. So I think it's really important that that word scavenge sort of has more positive connotations rather than negative. I don't think it's actually a very nice word, scavenge. Maybe we should say it like scavenge. Make it sound a little bit more positive. But going back to that point, there's no way that there's enough leopards. I mean, you know most of the leopards here to feed an entire clan. Craig, good question. You're asking, is it common for hyenas to hunt together? Believe it or not, I saw it many times in the Masai Mara. Clans cooperating. Now, once the sort of prey is on the ground, a feeding frenzy begins, and that's when it gets very aggressive. That's when the hierarchy comes into place, and they will attack one another. It's not like wild dogs. It's not that sort of altruistic approach. And yes, in the Masai Mara, we watched a North clan, even the Happy Zebra clan, hunt many times. It works well when they're hunting together. They can take down big species like zebra. And we watched Ndebele and Swazi going after a wildebeest calf the other day. If they were successful, which we don't know, then they would have feasted on that together. So yes, they can. They can hunt together and they can also hunt solitary. They've not got the most flexible bodies as the cats do, but they're fast. They're a lot faster than you would think because of that unique body shape. That sort of sloping gait actually allows them to save energy. That just looks very bizarre to us. And they hunt by coursing, just like the dogs do. They have just sort of specialized in every ecological niche, and that's what amazes me. FT?
SC.
SC. Davi's giving me the wrong letters here. I'm going to blame him. Okay, we got there. That's something I don't want to think about. I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't imagine so. But I don't know. For the pup this size, there has to be a den. I think this is a really, really young pup. And she's somehow snatched it. Maybe there's a jackal den nearby. I'm not too familiar with that. But I don't think the mother would be nearby. I think once there's a threat in the form of a leopard or a predator like that, the mother would leave. It's sad. I don't know. I find every kill difficult. So from one little canid here, we're going to send you to Andrew with his canids.
Thanks, Lauren. So, talking about hyena being underneath of the tree, since they can't climb trees, the same about the dogs as well. They don't climb trees. So those are the main reason why they always, rely hunting on the ground, falling logs. But yeah, they can't climb trees. Dogs as well. But they're stationary now on the road here. And then we're still in this position, western side of quarantine. Maybe, this is where usually impalas came in and out. Sometimes got maybe 100 of them there. And they've been sniffing up in the air, always check around. But they haven't picked up any scent probably yet of any of the antelope around here. So they were probably going to move every now and then because they're no more in the shade, thick area. One is leading off. So hunt by sight, hearing, smelling, both. It's excellent there. Getting slightly mobile. It's always nice to see them move, all of them. But as long as they don't disappear right in front of us. So Matthew asking what is the leader of a wild dog's call? That I'm not sure, but there is a alpha male and an alpha female leader of the pegs. So yeah, there is an alpha male and an alpha female that they're always making sure they're leading the whole pegs over here, and the others are actually assisting in terms of hunting. So let's keep up with them. They're going to actually reach that access road. Dave, so you're asking how many wild dogs they were able to take down a kudu. This size, average size of dogs we have here, they can do, but roughly anything from 14 to 10 dogs from there. They can make it. They can kill in a kudu. They're not actually a big dog. It's so small looking at this size, but gathering around, biting from different area. And they were able to bring big size prey down. So they cooperate, assistance. A lot of assistance here. So a lot of these are the one that you can see where they just help us. They're just making sure the pup is all in place. Those are the one assisting the whole packs in hunting. These sometimes they can be noisy when these young ones begging for food from their parents. That's where you hear a lot of noises. Cat swing, so you're asking how faster can a dog run in full speed. So 55 kilometers an hour, roughly. And then that top speed, I mean, they keeps them going for long. 2.5 kilometers, 3 kilometers possibly. So they're actually so cool in that. Where you see sometimes they run, chase the prey, until the prey species go down to in a water hole where seeking for protection. But then as long as there's no crocodile in that watering hole, it is the only survival that animal can gain from that watering hole. With a squirrel.
Alrighty guys, good afternoon. So we just went to the last spot where they had the wild dogs this morning, and with it being a rainy, cool morning, the dogs decided to continue moving after they had been left. So they went into a water hole, we tracked them all the way there, and now we're just checking this road to see if there's not something coming out. We've got another vehicle running on their tracks, well, a person walking on their tracks behind. So if they didn't come over the road coming in this direction, he might bump into them and then he'll let us know. But for the meantime, we're trying to cut corners and see if we can't shorten the tracking process, or the finding process for that matter, by seeing if there's tracks that's already gone over the road. You know, it's always nice to have a teammate helping you, so that one guy can be on the tracks, the other one can look on the roads that's in front of you to see if there's any animals that, or any activity of that particular animal that you're tracking that's gone over there. So far nothing. We think there was maybe one dog that went over at the back, but you know, that would have most likely come back over again, just because we haven't seen any of the other dogs crossing yet. So hopefully we'll be able to pick up on those tracks, or, well, even better, the pack soon, and then we'll be able to follow them and see if they don't want to hunt for us this afternoon. It did look like they were hunting this morning after they were left, so well, I wouldn't hope that they weren't successful, but it would be great if they want to hunt again this afternoon. That would be the best. But yeah, we're going to continue checking up on these tracks. If we do find anything, we're going to let you know. But for the time being, we're just looking for those tracks, okay?
Now, we went on a little bit of a bumble, and look what we found. I'm sure you recognise. Yes, another one. Another hyena lurking around. Now, I have an update for you all. Thank you, James. Much appreciated. I thought I saw on Facebook that Nzutini also had a jackal kill, but I actually completely dismissed it and thought that it was misidentified and it was actually just Kara. But I was wrong. And both of them, Kara and Nzutini, had a jackal kill last night, and I believe they were both young jackals, caught about 80 metres apart, which is a little bit sad to hear. But I think Nzutini lost her kill to one of these individuals. Now, I have to say, it's slightly bizarre spending time with spotty hyenas that I don't recognise. I'm so used to knowing the spotted hyenas backwards that it's quite strange to come to the west and see hyenas that I really don't know. It's a strange feeling, but I would imagine they're all from the Elephant Plains clan. Now, I could be wrong. Hyenas do wander great distances. But it's just a very bizarre feeling when you don't know them. We have seen Juma clan members cross onto Simbambili before. But I think there'll definitely be a bit of a clash. Simbambili is most likely the property where both sort of clans could meet. And as we were speaking about this morning, there would be no gentle interactions between two clans. So on a muddy road, excuse me everyone, in a little bit of a puddle, it's the perfect place to spend your afternoon. It's exactly how hyenas go down. They're so sort of morphologically just like dogs, and behaviourally. Genetically, no, not at all, but so I don't actually know where Nzutini is, but I also want to stick around this area to try and see if we can see Kara. Davi and I had her not so long ago up a marula tree with her mother, which was an incredibly unusual sighting, but it was getting dark. I had actually like a really nice sighting with her when it's still light. So hopefully we get lucky. And off it goes. Spa time over. It wasn't actually much of a puddle, to be honest. But the water's gone. Look at that. Okay, so we're going to keep bumbling around looking for Kara, but we're going to send you guys back to Andrew and those wild dogs.
So now we got these dogs all spread around. This is now it's all about a hunt. And I know there's impala running in front of them, but opposite way. Now they're running different directions. Best thing is to keep up with them because they're easy to disappear. These animals. Just gonna get a visual. If we can able to have a visual of 2 or 1, then we know that we still got the dogs. So we still have one right in front of us. It's going. It's a whole going on here. They all shoot into the bush. So one impala coming out of that bush. Drive forward. Sure, yeah, I'm also very excited, everyone. Dogs, such an amazing animal, especially when they hunt. Now, all I'm trying to do here to get the sighting going, so we don't lose the sighting. Just take a listening. Quiet, but they disappear into the bush. So I'm gonna go back to that open and find a gap to drive into that wood. If they fail, they're more likely to come back some place or different place. There's another vehicle's coming this way here. Hopefully they're gonna check the other roads. But the good thing is that when they kill, they all have to share. And then all we hear, it's all about the noises. That's how we'll know they succeed. Jam, so you say the different grasses is beautiful in Djuma. Indeed, it is beautiful. Here we're just off-roading, you can see. You know, we are pretty much in this open slash grasses and all the top seeds grasses. So it's bringing all of the beauty. I'm going to take a listening around here. Check the other open area to the northern side of us there. Doesn't look like anything this side. So I'm going to check the other open area, then I'm going to be sending you across to Lauren for now.
Good luck, Andrew. We're also searching for a leopard. And she could be anywhere. And look at this, I'm not too convinced. Is that actually rain that you can see over there? I'm not too convinced that we're going to escape getting rained on today. Something is rolling in from the east. Maybe it's exactly what we need here to break the heat. Sometimes when you have consecutive, really hot, stifling days where you almost feel like you can't breathe, you need a storm to come in and just break that heat. And thunderstorms are, of course, very common in summer. Summer brings sort of heat, but also moisture, lots of liquid, and that normally comes in the form of very heavy thunderstorms. Where'd you see them, Davi? Yes. We have some zebra here.
Anyone close to 1-9 open?
Can you get them from here? Actually, I think if I just go forward a meter or two, there's a nice one on the left here. There we go. Now, I think I mentioned zebra earlier being the perfect place to see zebra here. No wonder Cara doesn't want to leave this open area. She obviously didn't choose zebra last night. But this small herd, they're always here. Hanging out with the impala. It benefits them greatly to hang out with impala because impala are always the ones to alarm call for predators. Jerome, I imagine a male could. I've seen pictures online of males attempting to take down a zebra. Now, with the sort of force behind a male leopard, a big male leopard, let's just say one that comes in at around 90 kilos, then running at speed and knocking a zebra could actually cause it to fall straight on the ground. And because of their very unique shapes, once they're on the ground, it's not so easy for them to get back up. But they also have an incredibly powerful kick. Extremely powerful. So if the leopard makes one wrong move, then it may not be worth it. A female leopard, I highly doubt it. Really, Tandy, Kalamba, Shudulu, they're all very, very petite little animals, slim and petite. They're not tall. And although they're fierce predators, and they've got a lot of power behind them, I think they'll only weigh somewhere between 40 to 50 kilograms. They say maximum 60. I think that's a big female. So I really highly doubt it. But a big male leopard in his prime would possibly go for a zebra. But I think lions take more chances. They are bigger. They do have more muscle mass. They're taller. Of course, they have their pride mates, but alone, they tend to tackle bigger prey. And that's most likely because they come from a social structure where there are other members. When you're a leopard, you only have yourself. You're completely solitary. You can't afford any injury in any way, shape or form. And some of you were mentioning Hukumuri, that you didn't see his injury yesterday. We didn't have the best views, but he's definitely got a big chunk on his right shoulder missing. He will be absolutely fine, but it's probably painful. Any open wound for any of us is painful. But there's definitely a big chunk missing on his right shoulder. I have no idea how he got that injury, but that was what was causing him to limp a little bit. And I'm sure he just needs a good meal and to rest, and he will be absolutely fine. But there's definitely an injury there. It wasn't a leaf, as I originally thought. But believe it or not, both zebras and wildebeest, they actually prefer short grass. So they'll be seeking the short grass in amongst the long. Jen, that's not their intention. No, they're not trying to alert everyone. But with an impala herd, for example, the impalas will be alarm calling to let other impalas know. Zebras will pick up on this, wildebeest will pick up on this. Any other sort of antelope around will understand what that alarm call means. But that's not the intention of the impala. The impala is to alarm call to actually deter the predator. So although the herd life seems almost altruistic like wild dogs, it's not. It's selfish, really. When you sort of get into the herd dynamics, you're just trying to dilute yourself in amongst all the others. So when an impala alarm calls, it's just trying to alert the predator. We know you're there. The more of us that alarm call, the more it will deter the predator in making an attack. That's why they do it. But the zebras will just pick up on that automatically. It's not a sort of interspecific species interaction or assistance. There's something so lovely about seeing zebra out here. Okay, we're gonna... Okay, no. Forget I started to speak there. Okay, let's continue bumbling, because if there's a moving leopard, I think it will greatly help that we are also moving. I think it would surprise me if she doesn't return to that kill. And because the hyenas stole Nzutini's kill, she's also not in the same area. She's probably hiding somewhere. But I really do feel like Kara will come back. They must have came upon a jackal den, or a sort of group of jackals moving together, for them both to have killed jackals last night. Wow. That's my game drive radio, isn't it? Sorry about that. Maggie, the leopard? Are you referring to the leopard? I think. Why would they move so far away from their kill? I don't know where she is, Maggie. She could be right underneath the grass, the vegetation. We have absolutely no idea where Kara is. She could be right there. I mean, we scratched around, but she could be sort of bundled up on top of a termite mound, seeking shade anywhere. It's been a really hot day, and that marula tree that the jackal was on didn't actually offer much shade. So she's just resting. She's a nocturnal predator. Daytime is the sort of normal time of rest for these predators. So she probably fed a little, and she could be anywhere. She could be close, she could be far. She maybe went in search of water to help her cool down, but she'll return. That's the sort of wonderful thing about hoisting your kill. And that's exactly why leopards do it. They hoist in order to keep it off the ground so they can relax. The hyenas are not going to get to it. Nothing's really going to get to it unless another leopard walks by. And the chances of that are fairly slim. So she can relax. She can climb down and have a little snooze somewhere. And as soon as she's feeling hungry again, she can just climb back up the marula tree. Tingana was doing that the past few days. Once he'd finished feeding, he would come down from the tamboisi tree and take a snooze. And then when he was ready to eat again, he would climb back up one more time. Now this is a dam. I know we have already been here, but we are trying to search for our leopardess. We're doing some serious looping today. I think I saw an elephant, but it also might not be an elephant. Let us see. It could be a termite mound sometimes. These things happen. What do you think, Davi? Elephant or termite mound? Ah, a moving termite mound. Would you look at that? Dan, the man. Are you the man? Dan? Great name. I love it. I feel like you might be new. One, I've never heard your name before. And two, most definitely, leopards go to water holes. This elephant is also going to the water hole, which means we're going to reverse. But in summer, it's just such a different scenario. You must keep joining our live drives, and as we slowly progress into winter, you'll see it's nothing like what you are looking at right now. Of course, our long-term viewers, you will absolutely know what it's like during winter. It's barren, it's dry. A lot of the water bodies dry up. Not them all, but a lot of them do. And the sort of predators are restricted. Water is not readily available anymore. There's no puddles and pans and small little areas that they can get water. So therefore they have to go to the water holes. And you get some of the best game viewing in winter when all the predators come around the one water hole. So yes, leopards will. I don't think I've ever seen a leopard go to a big water body like Chitwa. It's very risky. Lots of crocodiles. And I'm sure many of you saw that awful sighting at Pinda with the cheetah, which was heartbreaking. Oh, there's another hyena, Davi. Why are there so many hyenas? What are you up to? It could possibly be the same one. Okay, we can actually go round to get a better view of this male. I also think this is the same male that we had at the start of drive. We've not really left this one area. I'm going to try and use my reversal skills here. Here we go. And hopefully we'll get better views of this male. Yes, I agree. Everyone's saying these hyenas know something. They do. And unfortunately, I don't speak hyena yet. It is the same male. Look at his nose, Davi. There's some strange bump on this male's nose. Do you see that? What is that? I noticed this on the bull earlier. It must just be some sort of excess skin. A little bit of a lump. It's an older bull. I don't smell must. I don't see any dribbling. He's obviously streaming from his temporal glands, but that's fairly normal. He's not dribbling. Okay. What a funny bump on his nose. At least it's a very unique way to identify him. A happy, jolly soul. And look at that. Once they go behind the tree, they completely disappear. Elephants can hide remarkably well out here. Not that they're trying to hide, but in summer you can lose a herd of elephants relatively quickly, like you wouldn't believe, considering they're the largest mammal we get here. Dad, you're asking why would this elephant be alone? Dabs, not dad. That's a bit strange if it was dad, isn't it? Okay. Gabs, oh my goodness, I got that so wrong. Yes, let me try that again. Gabs. Male elephant, you've got him. Male elephants live a completely different life from the females, as with most sort of species, and that's where sexual selection first evolved from. Charles Darwin had natural selection down to a T, which he understood, but then what he didn't understand was the sort of remarkable difference in between the two sexes. I just... Casey's behind the thicket, which he is, but we've got enough space here. And how can you sort of evolve male genitalia and female genitalia and have two separate sexes? And that's where sexual selection comes in. So normally in most species, the males and the females will live very different lives, in most, across the board. And for a male elephant, I've just noticed he's missing a tusk. You see that? He's not got his left tusk, his right tusk. That's also very common in males. And the males will get ousted from the herd. Basically, once they reach a certain age, normally around, on average, 15 years, teenage years, they start to undergo many hormonal changes, and this causes their behavior to change. And this will then cause the females to start sort of telling this youngster, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to have a more nomadic existence and be on your own. So they essentially get kicked out of a herd, and they can live a very nomadic existence, or they can join up with other young males or any males actually, and form a little bachelor group, just like the antelopes do. It really benefits the young males to hang out, if you like, with an older male, with a gentleman. It benefits him, and he will be the one to pass on all sorts of knowledge, just like the matriarch. A similar role, he will be responsible for guiding these young bulls on how to be a male elephant, living a nomadic life seeking for females. Okay, we're going to go back to that kill and hope that Miss Cara is there.
Do you dream of traveling to a far-flung wilderness location where life continues as normal? A place where you can escape to nature and breathe. If you become a Wild Earth explorer, then this could soon become a reality. Subscribe today and stand a chance to win regular travel prizes. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature. For the month of January 2021, we are offering a chance to win a unique Wild Earth expedition to the magnificent Tswalu Kalahari. From the ancient Kortai's Koranenberg Mountains to the southern Kalahari's red sand dunes, Tswalu offers what travelers crave most: space and time. The winner will explore this landscape in a vehicle, on foot, or on horseback, with a chance to go behind the scenes with Wild Earth and of course meet the meerkats. The prize includes a 3-night stay for you and a friend at the luxury Motse Lodge, including flights from either Johannesburg or Cape Town. Open to all Wild Earth explorers who have signed up before the end of January 2021. Terms and conditions apply. The new year has arrived, and with it comes all kinds of other new beginnings. From hyena cubs to meerkat pups, the bush is full of new life. If you want to find out more, then sign up to be an explorer and join our New Beginnings Fireside Chat. Tristan and Steve will be looking at what's new here in the wilderness as we enter 2021. Join them on the 17th of January, straight after the Sunset Safari.
So right, everyone, we have lost a dog running into the wood. Where we check few roads, no sign of them came out of that bush. And then now what we can give you, it's a rainbow. It's actually weather changing from the eastern side there, as you can see. All clouders, wind a little bit. It's probably going to be raining some part, with some parts still very warm. So yeah, to find out about our dogs, I'm still in the area. But they're actually animal you won't keep up with them, especially when they're on a chase. They just run wherever they can. So rather stick on the road, keep listening to audio, and that's how we can find them otherwise. It's all quiet, no contact call from them. Only those doves, wake harder, still calling out about. So if we fail finding them, there's one station went to check on Tingana if he's still around, where the area we left, seeing him moving into the tall grass. So we're gonna check a few roads in this area. Hopefully we bump on these dogs again. Probably desperately hungry. So LA asking the population of wild dogs in Saint. So I know of it regionally with the 3 pegs group. There's Investic pegs and there's Epungwe pegs. So the number goes up, goes down sometimes due to the situation of getting killed by big predators, such as the hyena. So I cannot say it's bad, it's cool, because now we're able to see the whole packs here, a number of animals together. Where the area where it's too bad, you hardly see the dogs. If you see them, they're 5, 3, maybe after 3 months or so, or 4 months later. So it's balanced. I haven't actually seen investic packs for long. But they are around in the area so that they move in and out. Some they operate far in the south, and some operate far in the west. It's Manyeleti Game Reserve there. So I cannot actually identify the number of them, of how many total, but I think it's balanced though. The reason I'm checking the tracks, it's easy because the general direction was heading sort of like northwest. It happens I came back while we drove past in this area. And then if they're done that, then they're going to cross this road where they will be heading into Zimbabwe and Aratuza area. Gentlemen, so you're asking if birds call would help us track the predators. Yes, it can. It depends on what type of birds that you'll be listening on. I'm going to take a moment here, listen to one of the birds that often like to make sound, even though they don't see much. On front, same one there. This is one of them. So a Magpie Strike. Usually they do make a lot of sound, especially this is actually breeding season for them. These they can make sound, but without seeing any danger around them. So that's normally for them. And arrow-marked bubblers as well. They can also make sound because they're in a group. And greenwood hoopoe as well, they can make sound without seeing anything. But it's all a communication among themselves. But in general, these hornbills, these go-away bird, grey luri, grey go-away bird, tarako, those that can warn you if there is a predator around. This type of francolin, when they fly up, perch on top of the trees, it means there's something underneath of the tree, then you more likely find what disturbed them. It's got to be one of their enemy predators then. There's a red-billed hornbill. But you see, they're not making any calls, so this call we can hear in the background, it's all about maybe feeding their babies, these Magpie Strikes. Nothing so important. predators we're talking about, not only cats, they can warn if it's a snake, if it's anything that can kill them or can kill you. They can give calls so that there's something danger around there. Let's move on, check. Can't wait to bump on these dogs again on the road or hear them call so we can know where they are. So you're asking if it's difficult to track after the rain, the footprints of the animal. After the rain is not difficult. It's everything on top of the track or rain, wet ground. You know, and it's always clearly. You can see it clearly that it's actually very fresh. If you already know exactly what time that rain came down, then you can always, you know, kind of like estimate how long the animal have walked into the area. But the difficult now is now the rain over on top of the animal tracks, but they still see on the sand there was probably lions or whatever it was. Then that you cannot know what time. Maybe it was a midday after the rain came down or before the rain came down. So all you do is just kind of like, you know, use your skill. But the skill is that you need to now observe around you as you go. More likely maybe that animal has maybe lay down not far away from that track, from where you saw the tracks. Sure, well, it looks like they've been on the road here. I'm gonna try follow these tracks, but now we're gonna have to go because they're faster moving dogs. I'm gonna talk to the radio. Sips, I haven't relocated, but I got a tracks on Sandy Patch heading north towards Babylon boundary. So I'm going to carry on check here. I'm going to be sending you across to Lauren.
Now, I am on my way to a sighting, everyone. I think they've located Cara very far away from that kill. And what's interesting is that she appears, from what I've gathered, to be heading in the direction of Djuma. But let me just try and get there. I'm just going to have to keep the radio up a little bit or I'll miss my slots. When we keep our radio down, they call us in and we sometimes miss our slot. But she's heading east and apparently she's very, very close to the sort of northwest corner of Djuma. Which is good news. I'm not sure Cara's ever been recorded on Djuma. I've had her on there a few times with Shadulu, but on her own, I'm not sure she has. I could be wrong, but it's good news all the same. So she needs to start to understand her landscape. She needs to start to know where she's going to form this territory. She's going to become a territorial female very shortly. Where is she going to set it up? It can't just be Makulu Open. It has to be much bigger than that. She needs access to water, resources, all sorts. But she must have abandoned this jackal pup. I don't know why. Okay, quickly over to...
All right, guys, so it took us a while, but we've got them. We had one of the guides, Yuan, running to try and see if he can keep up with him. But as you know, dogs are quite energetic, as you can see right now. So luckily we were able to link up with him and he could show us the dogs as well. So very grateful for that. But they do look hungry, so they do look like, well, we're hoping that they might want to hunt. See a little bit of cooling down there. And this weather is perfect for them, you know. The cloudy weather and the windy weather is absolutely stunning for them to be able to hunt in. Constantly on the lookout now. You can see how they're drinking there from like the overflow of the dam. Just a little bit less, you know, sludgy water. More clean. There's no mud or anything over there. But I think they're taking a breather just now, and then they're going to continue looking for something to feed on. Hopefully we'll be lucky enough to be able to witness them doing that. I just always love seeing those white tips on the tails, especially when they're upright. Then you know you're in business. As soon as they start hunting, you know, they use that quite a bit to keep track of each other. As you can imagine, with them sometimes having to run for kilometers at a time to take down their animal. They absolutely need to keep track of one another, and they also take turns, you know, to be the leading dog in the hunt, so that one doesn't have to sprint the whole way. There will be constantly like a relay system going on, so that they can conserve their energy to a certain extent. Not that they really need to. I mean, these guys are exceptionally well when it comes to their endurance, but always good to just save that extra bit of energy in the tank. So we're going to Andrew quickly, guys.
So we now got I don't know what happened, but we got a visual of a lioness running around, and there was one dog that was barking towards us, which actually is just so sad. We don't want to involve, or the dog doesn't have to be around where there's a lion. I don't know, she's going after probably impala or whatever it was. So now is it two separate? Now the dogs has ran different way. We got a brief visual of them. So they ran kind of like to the east, where the line is. I'm not sure which part Pride is, but we're going to find out now. We're going to drive slowly to that area. So two lions and the dogs. It's the result of the dogs has to get out immediately, avoiding getting killed by the lions. But you know, we actually... Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. We got more than one lioness on top of the dam there. We're in an area where we might lose signal. So if we could get a little bit of what is it from here, I think should be okay for now. So it's probably more of a lioness in that area. I don't think there's anything bad happened to the dog for sure. now because it's very in an open area. But we're going to investigate the dam wall. But what I seen rain from the water was impala, it was not a dog. So in this case now, the dog, that's why they wouldn't be tolerated in the places where it's so much of a big cats every now and then. Immediately they're going to have to move out of this area for now. For their own safety. So now Talamati, they were seen up in the east, Beblusuk Dam, the Beblusuk property area. We're on a western sector, the boundary with the Untitled Game Reserve, but inside Beblusuk. We're not sure which bride is this. I couldn't confirm if there was a whole Talamati there this morning. Which maybe then they might be separated. And that's what would make a dog to avoid moving around at night in tall grasses because it's not safe for them. So I'm gonna be sending you across to the mall. I'm gonna get close to these lionesses to try and identify them, which bride is this. So I'll let everybody know once we discover it.
All right, guys, so yeah, not a lot of action just yet. I think they're sorting out their plan just now. But they will most likely come towards us or in our direction when they start looking to hunt because the wind is coming straight from the north. You can see how they're putting their noses in the wind. What's actually happening now, I'm going to go a bit forward so you can see it. Just over there, that's the alpha male and female, and they both just marked on that little bush. So I think they're just smelling each other now. But yeah, hopefully soon we'll get them being a little bit more. I mean, they were active for quite some time just now until we found them. But hopefully they'll start going into more of a hunt. Starting their hunt at a place like a waterhole is always great, especially in the afternoon. With the amount of rain that we've been receiving over the past couple of weeks, there is a lot of puddles in the bush, so the warthogs and those types of things don't necessarily have to come to the water. But typically speaking, out here in the Kalahari, water means life, so you'll find that most of the predators, including the wild dogs, will look to hunt close to a waterhole, not only so that they can grab a bit of water, but also they know that all the prey species have to come in at some point. The beta female, the one, so with the alpha female smelling the bush at the moment, but the beta female, she's really looking to get a little bit more active, that one that's trotting there in the distance. So it seems like she's constantly pushing the pack to be a little bit more mobile. However, it is, with the dogs, the hierarchy is so perfect. I don't want to say strict because it's not really too strict, but they absolutely obey one another. So when it comes to leading the pack, alpha male and female, absolutely the ones that will do so. So as soon as both of them decide, you know what, we're going now, that's when the whole pack will follow. Yeah, there we go. They seem to be getting a bit active, so we're going to try and follow them, okay? Hopefully they're not moving too fast, but we'll see. They can sometimes keep life interesting. You can see they're situated now all around the waterhole. There's one just here in front of us, and then one way at the back of the waterhole as well. Let's just see now they're doing their little marking ritual on that side as well. Let's just see. Always exciting to have the dogs around. So Picky, this pack is about, well, it's 4 dogs at the moment. It's a young pack. The females split away from the original pack, and they actually met up with these 2 boys now. So they're quite a young pack, still need to reproduce. They've only established their ranking order recently, and with that being the case, not a lot of individuals yet. So these 2 females that we can see, that one that's walking away from us now, and the beta female that I showed you that's moving around quite a bit, they are part of the original pack of Tswalu, and so they were the previous litter and not got kicked out. They just decided they want to form a pack of their own. So they moved off, found these other 2 boys, and now they have formed the new pack. So hopefully soon, we've been seeing quite a bit of the alpha male and female being interested in one another. Not seen them mating though, not the physical act of that, but hopefully soon they'll look to start establishing, a den site, and maybe soon have new wild dog puppies on the reserve. That would be incredible. However, I'm not seeing any bellies swelling just yet, so we'll have to see how this pans out. But yeah, to answer your question, four dogs in the pack, 2 males, 2 females. So the alpha and beta pairs have already been formed, and typically you'll find that with the packs, when there's dogs splitting away, it will be the females splitting away and maybe older males, but normally you'll find the male pups staying in the pack for longer. They've got a cooperative breeding system with only the alpha male and female breed typically, and so the rest of the pack will all work together to help raise the puppies once they are born. You will, however, find in isolated occasions, because it's not always just the alpha male and female, so you will find in isolated occasions where the beta female will also get pregnant. Okay, guys, we're quickly going over to Pridelands.
So wow, look at this. It's almost like deja vu. Except instead of a lioness, we've now got 2 beautiful young male lions, hungry, walking through impala plains, straight past this big group of impalas. So it's absolutely amazing. I can't believe we're getting the same thing twice in a row. Now, I'm sure these young male lions are here because that lioness made all that fuss earlier and caused all that impalas to alarm call. I'm sure this is what's brought these 2 lions here. As you can see, they're also not having much luck, very hungry. They haven't eaten in a little while. You can see they are actually trying their luck here, but it's been no good, so they're moving through. I think these are the 2 young males that we've seen around this area. See, this one here looks like it's got maybe a bit of a limp. Could be different 2 young male lions, but I'm not really 100% sure. But absolutely spectacular scenes we're seeing here. The zebra, impala, all following this lion right now, making sure to keep an eye on it as it moves through this grassland, hoping for better pastures. There they disappear off. See the farmhouse in the background there, the old farmhouse. That's where we park our vehicle every evening. Lions moving straight past it, following almost the same route that lioness took this morning. I'm almost certain that they might even be able to smell her maybe have been following a scent trail of her. I wonder where the hyenas are. They won't be far behind with all this alarm calling happening. I'm sure the hyenas will turn up soon as well. Spectacular, and there's the last glimpse as it crosses what is actually our cut line. Disappearing one last little glimpse back, disappearing off into the neighboring property. What a phenomenal event to have witnessed twice in one day. Look at the impalas following that lion. Better to see the danger and know where it is and watch it until you know it's long gone, and then disappear and turn away from it. If they all turn around right now and take their eyes off these lions, they could turn around and rush back. Look how they rush forward like this, even the youngsters. That's amazing. I think there's probably there's a hyena as well. I knew there'd be a hyena somewhere nearby. I saw some other impalas looking down in that direction. Here comes the hyena loping forward in the grass, just beyond where these impalas are. There's the hyena coming rushing in, wanting to investigate. What's going on? Is there food? Has there been a kill? Oh, 2 hyenas. It's probably the exact same 2 that we hear this morning. Look how they run in. They're really checking what's going on. And these are accomplished hunters on their own right. So if there happens to be a weak impala or one that stumbles or falls, these hyenas won't hesitate to grab it. But you can see how excited they are. Come rushing in, I'm sure all the way from maybe nearby to where the den site is, which is not so far away. Even baboons in the background, making their way past this clearing. So much happening right now on the Impala Plains on the northern edge of Pridelands. Look, they know exactly where this alarming was coming from there. Checking very carefully that there isn't something down in the grass. This one looks like it's got a no tail, actually. No, there comes the tail. See the tail up like that is a sure sign of excitement. Sniffing around. Where's the kill? Is there a kill? And all the impalas have decided that the danger has moved off. They can now go back to the center of the clearing, which is probably feeling not so safe after today's activities with the lioness chasing them up and down. Now the 2 lions walking through, and these spotted hyenas. Turning into a very busy spot here on Pridelands. They also seem to realize, these hyenas, their tails have gone down now. They've probably gotten a glimpse of those lions as they moved across our boundary. And they're realizing that it's not exactly what they thought it was. But they're opportunists, better to rush in and hopefully have the opportunity to steal something. I mean, imagine if it was a leopard or a cheetah that had made a kill in this clearing. These hyenas would be easily able to steal it from them. So well worth the investigation. They start making their way back now towards where they came from, or maybe just following these lions onwards, just in case. What a winner of an afternoon. Now all's calming down. You can hear the impala starting to settle, some starting to feed again. Paying not much mind to the impala, to the hyenas. Well, our male lions have just disappeared, but sounds like Ingalas are well in focus.
So we've left our lapwings and hippos behind at the waterhole, and we're back with lions. And what you're looking at the moment is that young 4.5-year-old male. He was sleeping when we arrived, and he literally just lifted his head just before we went live. How lucky are we? How beautiful is his mane? You can still see it needs to fill in a little bit at the top there. He kind of looks like an old man, even though he's he's still very young. But maybe in about 2.5 years or so, he'll have his full mane. So what he's looking at the moment is the rest of the pride. They're just off in the distance there, also sleeping. And they've literally moved 20 meters from where they were this morning. Really, really lazy. So probably just moved into the tree line to get a little bit of shade. It was really hot today. And now they've come back out into the clearing. Shame, I kind of feel sorry for him in a way. You know, it's like he's yearning to be with the rest of the pride there. But he knows the Ross males are there and they will chase him or beat him up. It's strange that he's not getting, he's not getting the message. He's been beaten up so many times and normally these males would just leave, but he's quite busy. He's a mama's boy. If you look at his face, this morning we were chatting about how scarred those Ross males are, and how these male lions live quite a tough life, constantly fighting. You can see he's actually, if you look at his face, he's still in quite a good condition. He's got a few scars there on his nose, but other than that, the face looks pretty good. What he does have is quite a few wounds on his legs because of these Ross males. You can't see it from this angle now. Well, maybe on the hip there you can see one of the scars. But a while back they injured his back leg quite badly. Got a few nicks and cuts in the ear there as well. Both ears. And very large ticks on the edge of that one ear. If you look at his left ear, but on the right hand side of the screen there, you can see 2 fat ticks. We're going to quickly send you over to Pridelands.
The strangest thing just happened. The hyenas just started calling, obviously just because the danger was over or whatever, and these lions came rushing back in. This one male here just ran in, chased these 2 hyenas, and is now scent marking. Do you see that? He's urinating and scenting in the grass. Even though they are hungry, and even though they haven't had much food and they're desperate for it, they will stop what they're doing to chase hyenas. The brother is just slowly walking up behind, but this one seemed like he was desperate to kill a hyena. Look at him striding through the plain. So they've done a complete U-turn. They've come straight back into the plains, and you can see the impala very confused behind them. We thought we'd gotten rid of them. Lions are back. The zebras are also now moving in to look at these lions. I wonder if these lions are going to try and do what that lioness did and lay low until the animals start relaxing, and then try for a hunt on this open plain. Now, there is chance that there's going to be rain tonight. And if it does rain, it's likely that these lions will have a good opportunity to hunt. Darkness, a bit of wind, a bit of rain, all the senses of these impalas will be massively reduced, which means that this benefit they have now of this open clearing will be almost nothing. You can see all the impalas amongst those thorn thickets. Remember, this was an open field. A year ago when I got here, before the rains fell this season, this was basically all just grass from when it was farmland. So you can see it's growing quickly. Another lion moving back to where it came from. Impala impalas freaking out. Even a wildebeest now, the wildebeest herd, which is often in these clearings, all adding their voices to the cacophony. Look at him, look at him. I think he's spotted those hyenas again. Yep, he definitely has. Going to make sure the hyenas get well out of his territory. There's zebras as well. This is really spectacular. There. Can you hear the hyenas actually? Now look what's happened. This male moving there has chased all the wildebeest. The impalas are all running, the zebras are all running. They're running towards where the other lion was. Can't see the other lion, but almost certainly all these wildebeests, impalas, are all running in the wrong direction. They're coming up basically towards where that lion was. I cannot see where the other lion is. I think it's lying down in the grass. This is very exciting. I can't see the second lion, but I just see dust, lots of dust, from where all the wildebeest and impalas were running. This is the kind of thing that these lions might try to do. Remember, they use teamwork, so it's quite often the case that one lion will make its way into an open, distract the prey, chase them maybe into the waiting jaws of the other lion, which I still cannot see. It walked into this clearing with the brother, but I cannot see it right now. I'm going to use my binoculars just to have a bit of a scan. Very interesting. We all took our eyes off, and that's exactly what can happen with the prey. Take your eyes off for a moment. Where did the other lion go? Oh. Well, seems to have calmed down for the moment, but you can see this lion still got his head up, still moving quite quickly. It's by no means over. It's not giving up just yet. Seems quite keen to find out where his brother went. I think we must keep moving as well to try and keep up with them so we can keep seeing what's the story here. It's all just developing very excited. This is very amazing. Oh, there's another animal in there as well. Lots of cool stuff. Oh, what's that? Is that's the one lion? See all the impala scattering now. There's another vehicle in there with us that's going to move around and try and see if they can help us spot the other lion. So the students are here in the sighting as well, which is pretty exciting for them, because this is really watching animal behavior firsthand. You guys go around, we'll follow you around. You can see these impalas running back this way, which makes me think that that lion might be walking back in this direction. No, I see him walking down there. Okay, we're going to have to keep moving. I thought that maybe the one brother was going to have turned around and maybe be walking back this way. You just see a lot of excited students pointing. Well, let's hope that we can find these lions again and get another view of them and see what they're up to.
Great to have you everyone back here again. And what you see here, all aggressions, since we followed the dogs, came into this area. But then we had a brief visual of a lioness. There's actually a lioness here and a young male. And the lioness, it's a shimungwe with a young one still heading away. Probably because of scared of her now. It looks like this female, she's not accepting this young male in here. I'm not sure where this young male is from. So we've been here waiting here to see if there is going to be anything happen. We saw one dog, Ren, almost get killed by this young male lion, because what's behind was nearly close to that impala running across from that woodland. And then luckily enough, the dog realized there is a cat on a dam wall here, and it ran back east again. So it's not actually okay for the dog to stick around here or hunt in this area, because they use massive speed. And I don't check for the safe when they do that. Just every now and then it's a bit of a fight. Still young male, probably 3 years old, somewhere there. And he's a young cub. There's Mungwe here coming in from the way distance. You can see there's one of the young one from Shimungwe, female. So we're gonna stay here and then just to see how interactions happening or going on. And yeah, so for everyone, when we get back, we'll give you the update.
Alrighty guys, so it seems like the dogs are waking up now. They might look to start moving, which is great. You know, we were hoping for them to look to hunt. It's still the beta female leading the charge when it comes to moving. However, I mean, as I said earlier, it is definitely going to be the alpha's decision as to when they get active and so on. The direction and those types of things that the beta can sometimes be the boss of or lead the way of. However, it's just epic to have the dogs and have them moving like this. So let's see. Maybe we would get lucky and they encounter something. You can definitely see them pushing there, especially the females. You know, they're quite prolific hunters. We saw them growing up from puppy time, and we know that they are great hunters. So they definitely putting their noses in the wind quite a bit more than the males. There you can see them moving now nicely. I think they should start heading more towards our side soon, you know, with the wind blowing straight into, straight from that direction, but they could also just continue on this line as they are right now, because it's also more of a northeasterly wind, so still the wind blowing into their face. And they don't necessarily use the wind to hide their own scent. They just use the wind to be able to get a proper smell for the animals, you know. Always good to have a heads up when it comes to finding the prey. But yeah, we're going to stick with them and see, hopefully they find something. And if that is the case, that, well, a lot of excitement will be waiting. But as soon as they do find something, guys, we're going to let you know. For now, we're just going to continue following them, okay?
And once again, you've joined us at exactly the right time. So these lions were all sleeping a few moments ago, and one of the wildebeests behind us started alarm calling, which seemed like it urged all of the impalas also to start alarm calling, and one of the lionesses got up, and as soon as she got up, the rest of the pride also started showing signs of movement, and now we've got the majority of them up and moving. So one of the Ross males there looks like he's sniffing the urine of potentially one of the females. I don't know if you saw that, but he did almost look like he was smiling. They call that the phlegm and grimace. So testing that urine to see if that female was an estrus, to see if she was ready to mate with. I'm so happy to have them back on the property. And really nice to have them in a clearing like this as well. Now they could have very easily have been in a thicket somewhere, and then we wouldn't have had such a nice shot of them. So it seems like it was one of the older lionesses that prompted this move, and a bunch of the lions followed. We'll see what the rest of them do. They're all facing that direction. This morning I mentioned that, it looked like they could definitely use a meal, or they could definitely eat. Doesn't look like they have full bellies, so hoping to see them hunt tonight. And look who joined us here. He kind of snuck up on us. The young male. Look at that Ross male watching him. Painted Girl is saying it's a lionful drive today. It really is. Been hearing a lot of lion activity on the other properties as well. Fighting lions at Juma with Andrew. I hope we don't see any fighting here. This male is taking chances though. He's walking right into the pride. And like I said, that Ross male is watching him very, very closely. This morning there was actually a bit of fighting here. Well, let's see what happens. But if you look at the younger male and you look at the Ross male that's now just further ahead and to the right of him, you can already see how much taller this young male is. Once he's full grown, he's going to be a lot larger than these males. But at this stage, there are two of them, so he doesn't stand a chance. Yeah, watch your back. Seems like this one Ross male is hanging back. It's almost like he's just keeping his eye on this young male. Let's see. Now it's nice to see the Ross males with the pride. We don't always see them together. A lot of the times they'll be patrolling the boundaries of their territory. And we'll find them either by themselves. But when we do find them with the pride, it's such a nice scene. And also if they're going to hunt tonight, then there's the potential of taking down something bigger. Because these males are here and they could help. And they're a bit stronger than the females. So it makes it a lot easier. Nice little corridor through there. The Ross male scent marking there, very close to that young male. completely ignoring him. Alright, I think we're going to try and loop around to see if we can join them on the other side as well. We don't want to lose them. They are heading into quite a large thicket in front of us. But we'll see if we can keep up with them. While we reposition, we're going to send you back to Andrew with his lions.
Good luck, Mara. And yeah, with going around with the lions there, yeah, aggression is still, I haven't actually changed. That young female of Chimongwe lioness just still actually away from the situation, because now here, for the young male, he's not trying to probably push too much, but I think she don't want him here. And this is gonna actually take a while because he's not part of her. He's from different pride, which I'm not sure which one. And he's so relaxed as well, so he's probably one of the lions pride around in the area. She's now trying to return back to a cub, Sabadell. Yeah, she doesn't actually like him, that young boy. It takes time. It can actually sometimes take so much of a month before she understands being with him, if she need to accept him as a kind of like closer related to this pride. But then he's actually from the different gene pool, which there, if he was anything like 4.5 years, then you will be looking at the girls here. Then from there, probably he would be accepted. So we got an update. Looks like all dogs are fine, but they have moved far into the bush. The other guys have seen them. So I'm gonna be staying put here. I'm gonna be sending you back to Marna.
Alright, so we're still following them through the thicket here. And the young male has actually passed one of the Ross males now, and the Ross male didn't even look in his direction, so it's quite interesting. Where are you going? So as you can see, it is getting darker now, and it is nice and cool, and that's exactly why these lions are on the move. Now, if they wanted to hunt, they would have to wait for it to get a little bit darker, because that's when they have the advantage. It's amazing how they just disappear into these thickets. I mean, if we arrived a few minutes later, we would have no idea. We would have to track them. All right, let's see. We're going to have to try and see if we can keep up. This is going to be going to have to bundu bash here. Whew. Quite thick here. Just watch your head, BK. Alright, sorry, watch. Alright, we're going to send you back to Tswalu with their wild dogs.
Alrighty guys, so it definitely seems like the dogs have a bit more of a plan going now. They are running with the wind, so that doesn't necessarily have to mean something, that they're not hunting or anything like that. As you can see, they're in front, and here next to us, actually, they are getting that, typical wild dog or canine-like trot. So definitely set out, and they're busy moving. Hopefully looking for something. You can see them every now and again stopping, smelling the air, going again. So I do think they're looking for something to hunt. However, we'll have to see. It's just always epic to have, active wild dogs. It must be one of my, as far as the predators is concerned, a leopard has to obviously be my favorite animal, but the most exciting is definitely the wild dogs when they are active, because there's always the possibility of something happening, It's not like certain predators that can just be lazy. So Oliver, they typically hunt during the daytime, early morning, late afternoon. But when they're hungry, you'll sometimes find them going during the warmer parts of the day as well. And then I've seen them, well, not seen them, but we know of, when you follow them and it's a full moon night, where they hunt during the evening as well. So when the moon is nice and bright during the evening, you'll find them hunting then also. But typically speaking, they prefer hunting during the day, just like a cheetah. They won't prefer being nocturnal hunters. Their daytime vision is much better than their nighttime. So definitely more of a early morning, late afternoon hunting activity predator. But to answer your question specifically, I have seen them hunting during a full moon evening, or when the moon is at its brightest. So it is very possible that they do hunt at night as well. But this time of the day is perfect for them to go, It's nice that the sun is out again. We've had some very cloudy weather over the last couple of days, which we're not complaining about after the drought that we've experienced. It's always great to have proper rain falling again. But it is beautiful to just have this like golden glow and then wild dogs running in it. So this is typically when you find them hunting, this time of the day and then in the morning. But they're getting quite a bit more active as the sun starts setting. So yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully they'll find something soon. Definitely on a mission. This is beautiful. Luckily, as you guys can see now, with it being much more open here than places like in the Lowveld, it is a little easier. I heard you guys were bundu bashing earlier to try and follow lions, but here it's a little bit easier to follow things like the predators, just because we don't really have lots of thickets. It's more just a couple of raisin bushes here and there, or camel thorns or grey camel thorns, but typically speaking you can move quite easily through the bush without having to lose the predators. So that makes life for us a little bit easier, especially when it comes to the dogs. You can also see quite far, so that makes it a little easier to follow them, especially when they start hunting, because as you can imagine, what they're doing right now is just trotting, and we are constantly moving to keep up. As soon as they start hunting and they go into full speed mode, that becomes interesting, because you know you don't also want to race through the bush with a Land Rover. It's not ideal. So typically speaking, you are going to be behind them, but if you can see them, spot them, or keep an eye on them even from a distance, that's always good. And this is perfect terrain for them to find something like a steenbok or maybe a warthog. And the man, you're right, they have been a little bit more scarce. You know, they've been hanging out, the wild dogs, they've been hanging out in areas where we couldn't really film them or get the camera on them at the moment without, with having signal. It's just like our Northern Pride. I've only ever put them on screen once. So sometimes they hang out for certain times of the year in certain areas where, as with the camera, we can't necessarily go. Normal game drives, you can go there, but then you don't have to worry about the mountain and where the signal tower is and all of those things. So they've been just a little bit more scarce. We're very happy that they're operating more in the northern side of the reserve, northern and central side. So that helps a lot. As you can imagine, Tswalu is quite a large property. I mean, we span over 110,000 hectares, so there is going to be places where the tower can't always reach us, or we can't reach the tower. So very cool to have the dogs finally be in an area where we can put them on screen. So that's epic. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of my more exciting sightings, and to be able to share it with you guys now, especially in this beautiful terrain, is just incredible. I'm very happy to be able to do that, and especially on my first afternoon back after being gone for so long, to have them on the first drive back on Wild Earth is just incredible. But yeah, guys, we're gonna see what's gonna happen here, but for the meantime, we're gonna send you off to Andrew, okay?
Cool, so now the update about the lions. They're still there, but every now and then there's a dog calling out in this area, so we decided that we don't want to cause a lot of a conflict between, where some of the dogs looks like they have knowing that there's a lion, some of them haven't known that there's a lion here, it looks like it. So it happens maybe they will be running around in that area, so it's not so cool for the dog. It's because there's been so much of impala here in this area, where the lions was hunting a group of the same impalas, where now the dogs came in at the same time, chasing the same group of impalas. So in that situation, the dog, as they're always vulnerable to other predators, they have to make sure that they don't stick around in that area. So that's why I move out. Now I'm gonna check around slowly where we left Tingana this morning. Hopefully he would be drinking or on the road moving somewhere. This morning it looked like to me he wasn't gonna be moving too far. But when he started to maybe get attracted by prey species that would be around Gary Dam, that area, probably he will move to get as much as he can. And he's still a brilliant hunter anyway, so we know that. So James, he's saying the dogs have a hard time with these lions recently. Yeah, you're right, and that's what it is sometimes with them. It can be very tough wherever it's so many lions, and then the dog has to avoid that area. So for quite a long time is because there's somewhere where there's less lions, and then they can take it easy, hunt comfortably without any disturb from other big cats like lions and these. They won't mind so much of a hyena. Only when he's too young, a hyena can really do damage to those babies, but they can actually now able to keep up with their mother.
We managed to catch up with our beautiful Cara. We spent a good portion of time there. It appears like there's been lots of action. I have absolutely no idea what's been going on, but we managed to catch up with her. She's very close to Triple M. Not quite crossing into Juma, not quite, but she's very, very close to it. So it does leave promise for tomorrow. And she's still skittish in nature, I would say. They do limit the vehicles around her to 2 sometimes, just because of her nature, especially in comparison to Insutini. But we managed to find her. She wasn't anywhere near the jackal kill. That poor jackal. And yes, hopefully tomorrow she may start crossing east. That would be really wonderful. I do often feel that Juma has space for another leopardess, but we had to leave her, I'm afraid, so we're just bumbling. I probably should have my spotlight out, because guess what? It's working now. Isn't that fantastic? Marcel fixed it today. He really is a superstar. Okay, so I'm going to keep bumbling, see what else I can find, and we're going to send you guys across to Wild Dogs in Tswalu.
Alrighty guys, so still haven't bumped into anything. You can see they're slowing down a little bit now. I think they might have decided, you know what, there's not something out here at the moment. So possibly looking for a place to lie down for the night, or just, to relax a little bit before they start moving again. With it being cloudy tonight, there's absolutely no reason for them to look to hunt during the evening. I mean, even if the moon is at its fullest, the light won't break through the clouds. I know it doesn't look like that when we look in the distance, but behind us is where the weather is coming from. And there's some pretty big clouds moving in. So I don't think they're going to hunt during the night. If there's something that gets flushed out of the bushes now, then definitely I think they'll be interested. But it doesn't seem like they... I do feel like they lost interest slightly. You can see they're no longer, spread out anymore. They're just walking in a straight line behind each other, not really smelling the wind anymore and so on. More keeping an eye on a place to lie down, maybe. Yeah, quite interesting to see Alpha and Alpha both walking at the back, and then the beta pair in the front. Like I said earlier, it's not necessarily an indication of anything. Dave, so no, we don't have any large wild dog packs in Tswalu. The largest that I've seen since I've started here was 6 adults. And then, previous years, the pack has grown up to almost 19, if I'm not mistaken. But that was not in my time. So at the moment, the largest pack I've seen was 6. And then we've got this pack that's newly formed now. Hopefully soon these guys will get pregnant, and then hopefully they can go up to, maybe let's say 15 or so. That would be incredible, because then they can go for larger animals such as Gemsbok or eland or those types of things. Not necessarily an adult eland, but the young eland and the calves and so on. So that would be great. I've seen videos back in the day when the other pack was up to 19 dogs, where they even went for a giraffe calf. They weren't successful though. The mom chased the the wild dogs off, but they still went for it, and they had it on the ground up until where Mom came to the rescue. So yeah, they can get quite large. You know, it's not necessarily a numbers thing when it comes to the size of an area or so. I've seen the packs in the Kruger. Well, there was one pack where I used to work before I started at Tswalu, which got up to, I think it was 37 individual dogs. So, I mean, they can get immense. But yeah, guys, have a look at that sunset. You know, I always enjoy a sunset when there's clouds involved. The colors just seem to be incredible with that. You know, the dramatic effect just gets added. And out here in the Kalahari, with, especially at the moment, with all the grass seeds, you know, turning into that golden little flowers almost, when you look at them in the sunlight, is just incredible. Like I mentioned earlier, it's so beautiful to see the Kalahari green again after a while, after it being, you know, almost bare sand for so long. So absolutely stunning. Guys, yeah, on the dog note, I think we're going to let them continue doing their thing. We won't follow them anymore. For the meantime, we're going to look at the sunset. It's incredible, and just enjoy the view. I mean, it's incredible, the vastness of Tswalu. Just absolutely stunning. Everything we see around us at the moment is Tswalu. So that's just incredible. Amazing opportunity for us as, you know, field guides and trackers and so on, to have such a big playing ground to be able to drive on, you know, find all of the different animals, all the unique animals here at Tswalu. So that's just incredible. And having it rained, it's just even more beautiful. So yeah, quite a special afternoon to be back on drive again. But yeah, guys, it's like I said, just beautiful being back with you guys. We're going to start heading on, leave the dogs, let them do what they do. Maybe we'll catch up with them tomorrow afternoon or so, we'll see. But for the meantime, we are going to go over to Lauren.
We've just came across a vehicle up ahead that I believe is stuck, I'm afraid. I think we may have to go and help them in just a moment. I haven't been on the northern channel today. We've been across in the west looking for Miss Cara. But I think they're stuck. So we may do the good deed of being a human, being a good human, and offering our kind services very, very shortly. I should probably put brighter lights on, and I'm always hesitant to put my bright lights on. Okay, I'm going to turn back round and see if we can offer this vehicle some assistance. But for now, let's go across to Andrew.
Good luck, Lauren. So, we're still checking these few roads over here, hoping to bump on the Tingana, because then he moved from where he was there, and then nobody knows where exactly he's gone to. But they are sneaky, you know, sometimes. But for leopards, it's usual, where you've got to be in the bush. Okay. You can just take a little bit of a listening around us, the frogs. So, yeah, okay. When we tracking animals at night, so we look for their eye reflection. So mainly, that's what we focus on. So eye of the animal, all different, or even for the day animals, they still reflect, but nocturnal, all different reflections in color. Whether they reflect double, because they're nocturnal now, they can see at night, or they're meant to hunt at night. So that's how we look for. Sometimes it happens by chances you shine at the animal body without seeing any of the eye sign reflections. That happened quite a lot. Especially those are just stationary off the road, chilling there, or maybe walking the road you're at. So you're already behind that animal, so you obviously easily to see on the road. But also the tracks at night. With the spotlight you can able to see what the tracks are, hyena or leopards or lions, by just looking at the tracks. Sound sometimes, if you got a time, switch off the vehicle, take a listen. So Morgan, you're asking how better lions are sighted at night. So a leopard and lions, all hyenas, it's actually excellent at night. These are truly nocturnal, no doubt. So, but it's all about the chances they got in terms of how they success, in terms of how often they kill at night. This is something to do with an experience of that cat and hunting, but not to give up, but being up and move, not to lie down for too long, because it's a long night, but somehow it's getting late where the morning take place as the lights is up and they don't want to move too much, spend a lot of time hunting too much in the heat. They do that, but it's a waste of energy. So for leopard and lions and hyena, it's excellent at night. You can see very well. So now I'm going down along this road. I'm going to check I'll go pen there if there's anything drinking.
Our first Wild Earth Explorers competition has closed. And we have a winner. Congratulations to Chantal Sleep from Benoni in South Africa.
I felt totally overwhelmed for winning this prize. I will be taking my son with me, and I can't wait to share this experience with him.
Chantal and her son have won a behind-the-scenes Wild Earth experience at the magnificent and beyond Ngala Tented Safari Camp. The prize includes a 3-night stay and a chance to sleep out in the unique Ngala treehouse.
I would like to thank Wild Earth for making this dream come true, and I encourage everybody to subscribe, to become an explorer, and stand the chance to win these amazing prizes, and so much more.
For this month, we have a brand new prize. You could be jetting off to Tswalu in the Kalahari for a 3-night stay at the luxurious Motsi Lodge. Open to all Wild Earth explorers who have signed up before the end of January 2021. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Rusty. He's my favorite vehicle, and we've been through all the good times here in the bush. Now, if you feel a connection to Djuma Game Reserve like I do, then we have a fantastic opportunity for you. You can have your name engraved on a brushed metal plaque just like this one, and we will attach it to Rusty so you can always be with us on safari in spirit. We will even send you a digital photograph once your plaque is mounted on Rusty. Spaces are limited, so grab your spot now.
The new year has arrived, and with it comes all kinds of other new beginnings. From hyena cubs to meerkat pups, the bush is full of new life. If you want to find out more, then sign up to be an explorer and join our New Beginnings Fireside Chat. Tristan and Steve will be looking at what's new here in the wilderness as we enter 2021. Join them on the 17th of January, straight after the Sunset Safari.
So, okay guys, I mean, this is what I was saying about the sunsets at Tswalu. This is just incredible. Look at that. And the clouds absolutely just making everything better. Seems like there's a fire blazing behind those clouds, actually. Well, there is, actually, if you want to think about it, you know, technically. However, it is just amazing. You know, Craig just mentioned now, this time of the afternoon here at Tswalu, it's so nice and open and so on. You can just find a high point and staring any direction, and it will be beautiful, you know. So, always a privilege to be able to end the day in the bush. Much better than sitting at, in an office or so. You know, having this as our office, as you can imagine that us as guides, regardless of the location, are very happy to be out here. But just beautiful clouds. It seems like the rainy weather might be clearing up. I know there's a lot of clouds in the sky at the moment, but it seems like they're thinning out. They're getting a little higher, so the low pressure system might be, you know, disappearing now and getting into more of a high pressure system. We'll have to see. But I'm just always a big fan of having clouds in the sky. Just not only for sunset, it always just adds that little bit of texture. And in this particular case, I mean, that's just stunning. Being able to have the wild dogs this whole afternoon, you know, and, well, I mean, you guys have seen so many incredible things this afternoon. There's been lions and leopards and wild dogs interacting, and, you know, that was just all perfect. And being able to end the drive like this, very, very happy about that. But yeah, guys, unfortunately, it has come to that time of the afternoon where we have to say goodnight, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. I do hope that all of you join us on the morning safari again at 5:30, and then we'll see what we can find from there. But yeah, please stay tuned tomorrow morning at 5:30 on channel 183 on DSTV. You can also find us on YouTube. But yeah, please remember also to send us all of your questions. For now, guys, good night.
This program